Samant, your UK immigration lawyer. Today I'm going to talk about it's a walkthrough series. This is a new series that we are starting. I've observed that during the consultations, sometimes clients have gone through the government website, UK government website, for a specific visa category, and their understanding is not the same as it should be, as it is being intended on this gov.uk page. So today, to begin with, just to clarify on all the points, so when you are reading you can also watch this video. It will help you to understand much clearly, so I will detail on all the areas. Secondly, if for your specific situation, if you book a consultation after this, that is what we always advise. If you need any advice in your particular case, do book a consultation with us. The links are down below in the video, and during the consultation it will help you. If you already watched this video, you have an understanding, an idea of how the discussion is going to go, and any specific questions you can already jot down after you've seen the video, so it helps you out. So just to begin with, today I'm going to talk about the creative worker visa. I'm going to go through this gov.uk page. You can search it on Google, search for creative worker visa UK, UKVI. This page will come up, and scrolling down, so I'll go through all the tabs. The first tab is overview. You must apply for a temporary worker, creative worker, if you have been offered work in the UK as a creative worker. So what that means is you have an UK employer who is willing to sponsor you for a visa, which means that employer needs to have a sponsor license to sponsor creative workers. That's number one. Secondly, that employer should have given you or is willing to give you a certificate of sponsorship, because you will need that to file the application or even enter the UK. If I'll go into how you can enter and all below, down below. So you've been offered work, so it doesn't mean that you have an offer of employment or just a contract. They should have a sponsor license, the employer, and they should give you the certificate of sponsorship to sponsor you for the work permit. You meet the eligibility requirements, so we'll go into that subsequently. A creative worker is someone who works in the creative industry, so actor, dancer, musician, film crew. So this is more on the film industry, etc. Yeah, I have many times advised, we've done various applications. We also manage sponsor licenses for employers in this area. So if employers are watching this, yes, we can also help you with getting creative workers in the UK, whether you have a license or if you want to start with a license. We also offer license application service, everything under this category. So the individuals that can come is actors. I have helped with several, I would not go into the much details of it, but yes, I have supported applications of several actors, dancers, musicians also, and others, film crew members, specific. So that is the main area for this. So let's go in further. This has been replaced by temporary worker. So there was a category before December 20 December 2021 or so, when the skilled worker visa came into play, when the tier 2 general was closed and the skilled worker at the same time, more or less, these were also changed. In the past we had a category temporary worker, creative sports visa, TFI, that was the name. If you are already in that, obviously you can extend, your rights will continue under this one if you are eligible. If you are a sports person, then you go into the international sports person visa. Yes, I'll have a separate walkthrough for that one. This whole block only applies if you are a European national and you entered the UK before 31st December 2020. Other than that, it does not apply to non-European nationals, even to European nationals who have not started living in the UK before 31st December 2020. This does not apply with respect to creative worker visa. So you have to just ignore this. I know it may just complicate it, but this is talking about if you have some status under the Brexit law, EU settlement scheme, then that will allow you to come and live in the UK. But that has nothing to do with sponsorship, sponsor license, etc., etc. So this paragraph has been put on all types of visas basically. So sponsorship, you need to have a certificate of sponsorship from a licensed sponsor before you can apply to come to the UK to work. That's what I said, you need to have a course. the work you do in the UK must relate to the work of your sponsor organization. So you should be working for the organization, or the work should be of the sponsoring organization. You cannot go and work for third parties. Yeah, there are some. Yeah, we'll go into the rights below. How long it takes? You can apply up to 3 months before the date you are due to start work in the UK. This is registered on your course. As part of your application, you will need to prove your ID and prove void documents. You may need to allow extra time if you need an appointment to do this. You'll find out about this when you need when you start your application. Okay, fine. So how long it takes? About 3 months. So you can apply for a visa up to 3 months before. So for example, today is 19th of May. Let me write down and try to give examples here. So let's say your work start date in the UK up to 3 months before the date you are due to start work in the UK. So assuming June, July, August. So say 1st September is your start date, 1st September 2023. You can only file the application for a visa up to 3 months before the day you are due to start work in the UK. So you can file the application within 3 months of that. That is from, that is 9 minus 6, 7, 1st July, August, September. From 1st July onwards, you can file your application between 1st July and 1st September. So you should file it as soon as possible. Obviously, you need the decision to travel beforehand. That's what it's saying. Getting a decision. Once you've applied online, prove your ID and provide your documents. 3 weeks if you're outside the UK. So first I will talk about outside UK. So the way the process works is you fill in an online application form. You book your appointment to attend biometrics appointment, or if you're a European national, you may go through the app, etc. They're trying to streamline that, but generally speaking, you submit the application online, make the fees payment, book an appointment, attend the appointment, upload all your documents on the system, or carry it to the appointment. So that's how you submit application documents and your fingerprints and photograph, digital photograph, not physical photograph. 8 weeks you are inside the UK. You may also switch to this category if you are in the UK on any other visa other than a visitor visa. Ideally, that would be the rules. Let me see on the immigration rules. I have it open here. So who can switch? Yeah, so that's right. Any long-term visa you have other than a visitor entry or visitor visa, you can switch in the UK. If you need to go to an appointment, you may be able to pay faster. So there are some faster services and all. You can ask at the appointment, or when you submit, you will see the priority options, one of the two. How much it costs? You, your partner, or children will need to pay. So application fees is the visa application fees. Healthcare surcharge, 624 per year of visa. You have to multiply that by the number of visa years you are filing the visa for. Prove you have enough personal savings. Yeah, we'll go in the financial requirement. Application fee for each. So those are the fees, etc. They are subject to change. They will change it here if the fees change. The fee is the same whether you are applying from inside or outside. Okay. How long you can stay? You can come to the UK for a maximum of 12 months, or the time given on the certificate of sponsorship plus 28 days. So yes, so this visa, so let's say your work start date is 1st of September 2023 and your work end date is 31st of August 2024. That's exactly 12 months. So you can come to the UK for a maximum. So your visa, you can come, and your visa can be only up to 12 months, or the time given on your course plus 28 days. So even if your work start date is 1st September this year, 31st August next year, your visa will be given 1 year plus 28 days. So 12 months plus 28 days maximum. If your sponsorship is shorter, then let's say you are 9 months, then yes, you will be given 9 months of visa. Yes, further, you may be able to extend your visa. Yes, you will go to extension. You must start no more than 14 days before the start date on your course. So what that's trying to say is, if you, let's say you apply in July, you get the decision by 31st of July, you come to the UK in August, However, you can only start that particular, you must start no more than 14 days. So if your start date on the course certificate of sponsorship was 1st September, you can start no more than 14 days before. So which would be about 31st of August, 17. So 11, 20 minus. So about 17th, 17, 18, 19, 24. No, 18th, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, from 18th of August onwards. Even if you come to the UK earlier than this, because obviously your visa may be issued earlier, it takes only 3 weeks outside UK. You can only start 14 days before. If you intend to work in the UK for 3 months or less, you may be able to use creative concession instead of applying for a visa. So if your project is only for 3 months and you'll be going back outside the UK, then without applying the visa, you can also enter the UK. This only applies to non-visa nationals, for example, US citizens, Australian citizens. If you Google and search for, I can tell you how to find UKVI visa nationals. You just Google this and this should come up. This is the list of countries who need a visa to come to the UK. If you are in this list, then you cannot use that concession. Anyone listed, say someone from India or China, etc., cannot use this because they need a visa. They are a visa national. So this is visa nationals list. You can just search for it, UKVI visa nationals list, and it will come up. And if you are not on the list, for example, European citizens will not be on the list, American citizens, Australians, etc. If you intend to work for you intend to work for 3 months or less, you can just come with the certificate of sponsorship and your passport. Yeah, that there will be a concession. We'll read about that. What you can do and cannot do. You can study. So along with your main job, you can also study. Work for your sponsor in the job described on your, obviously that's what you're coming for. Then do a second job in the same sector at the same level as your main job. So if you're an actor, you only can work as an actor and at the same level. So whatever is your hierarchy, say you are a cameraman and you are an assistant cameraman and not the main cameraman, or you are the main cameraman, so you can only work as the main cameraman, not as an assistant. So that is what it is trying to say, at the same level, whatever your job is sponsored for as your main job, up to 20 hours, and that 20 hours can be with any other employer. That is perfectly fine. Do a job on the skilled worker shortage occupation, up to 20 hours. Shortage occupation is the occupations which are in demand in the UK. So UK needs people to come from migrants to come and work in these areas. That's why they are listed on the shortage occupation list, and there are some discounts, concessions, making it easier for those people to come in the UK. For example, doctors, nurses, etc. And there are many other professions as well. You can click here and you will find that list. On the creative worker visa, you can bring your partner, children as your dependents if they are eligible. Yes, you can. If you have unmarried partner, 2 years of living together proof is required, address proof. Or if you are married, civil partners also, if you have registered civil partnership, etc. And children is any child under the age of 18 years of age, so you can sponsor them. All of you can come together as well. And what else? You cannot get public funds. That applies to all the visas. Migrants don't get public funds, which is the government support for anything, living, etc. And you cannot start your own business. This is an important one. I know people always ask me on several visas, can I start my own business? You cannot start your own business in this visa category. There is a specifically they have stopped you from doing that. Next, eligibility. You need all of the following to be eligible. Okay, make a unique contribution to the UK labor market. For example, you are internationally renowned or are required for continuity. So you're an internationally renowned actor or etc. And you are, or if you may not be internationally renowned, but you are required for the business to continue its operations, whatever activities it is doing. You need a cost reference number. That's the certificate of sponsorship. They don't have to, it's not a physical certificate, it's a digital certificate. and a certificate number is generated. You don't need the whole certificate, you just need the number of the reference number. You put it on your application, and Home Office verifies it when you file the application. You must be paid the minimum salary. Yeah, these are all the different bodies that regulate different equity pact. You can click on them. They will, if, except for models musicians, they don't cover, but still obviously minimum wages and all will have to be paid as per all the UK laws. Enough money, and there is also a UKVI if you want to see, but that's for skilled worker visa. List of, yeah, let's go to that later. Fine. Enough money to support yourself, you'll usually need to have at least 12,1270. So for the main applicant it is 1270, unless you are exempt. You need to have this much money. So assuming you are the only person who is applying, the main applicant, I'm not considering dependents at this point, you need to have 1270 GBP equivalent money in your account. It can be outside UK in your local currency. The currency conversion has to be done as per .co.uk. There is a currency converter on this website. Somewhere you can create, yeah, it will tell you if you just scroll through and find the currency converter. Products forex maybe
11 o'clock.
And yeah, so you need to, they will do the currency conversion as per this website. You can just Google for currency converter Wanda, maybe this one. Yeah, if you are applying from Australia, let's say you want GBP 1270, so this is the equivalent amount of Australian dollars you will need. Accordingly you can change here. So if you are in, you have in euro, so this is the amount you'll need in euro. That amount will need to have held in your bank account for at least 28 days. So you need to submit a statement of minimum 28 days, and that statement should have been issued within the last 31 days before the date of application. That will apply for all types of visas. So that is the maintenance requirement. Savings, certificate of sponsorship, you need a license sponsor, yes, certificate of sponsorship reference number, your sponsor certificate. You must also give information to help you apply. For example, how much will be paid. It's valid for 3 months. Okay, the certificate once issued, it's only valid for 3 months. Within that you need to file your visa application, or you need to enter the UK. If your assignment is for less than 3 months and you are a non-visa national and you are entering without a visa, just with the passport and the certificate reference number. Changing your sponsor, so apply again, meet all the eligibility rules. So if you want to change your employer, apply again. You may be able to do it inside UK. If you want to change within the same organization, move to a new organization. Okay, changing your sponsor does not change that. You can see in the UK you can only stay a maximum. Okay, so still the 12 months restriction is still there. You may get a visa initially, say for 6 months, and then you can switch to another employer or the same employer extending. Or if you are already got a 12-month visa, within 3 months you want to change to another employer, you can do that. But the total time you can spend on this category is only 12 months. What usually people do is, even companies, when we do applications, when we do represent employees also on the managing of the sponsor license, etc. So in such cases we always they bring them in, they test them on the performance for 12 months, and usually towards the last 2 months they will sponsor them on a skilled worker visa and give them a longer term visa, which would be a 3-year visa or a 5-year visa. And that visa would also allow you to become permanent resident in the UK after completing 5 years on that category, skilled worker visa. I have done several of them where we have switched individuals from the creative to the skilled worker, previously tier 2 general visa it was called as, and then subsequently they and their family got indefinite leave to remain. So yes, this is like a testing visa for employers. They bring you in, you have 12 months of performance, and if you do perform and they are happy with you, they may continue sponsoring you and give you the other type of visa, skilled worker. Okay, so this visa only allows you to stay maximum 12 months, whether one employer or several employers. Multiple jobs. Your sponsor that covers the entire length of your stay, even if you need to perform at more than one engagement. If you are working for more than one sponsor, you can get certificate from each. Not be a gap of 14 days between each job. If you leave the UK and come back, I will count towards. Okay, so the first point, your sponsor can give a certificate that covers. So let's say your assignment is for 6 months. That covers the entire length of your stay. That's one option. They can give you 6 months of certificate of sponsorship, start date, end date. Even if you need to perform at more than one engagement during the 6 months, you may have several engagements. That is perfectly fine. Several different projects you're working on. If you are working for more than one sponsor, so you are working for sponsor employer A and employer B, you can get a certificate from each of them. So let's say your ABC, you have two engagements with sponsor A, you get a cost from them. You have three engagements with sponsor B, you get a cost from them. You can do that as well. There cannot be a gap of more than 14 days between each job. So this is very, very important. I know I have advised and dealt with such situations. Usually for professions like these, creative professions, there may be a period of, let's say a project runs for 4 months and there is a gap, and then the new project will take some time to start. Maybe if the project is starting more than 14 days after the end of the previous one, there cannot be a gap of more than 14 days between each job. If you leave the UK and come back, your time away will not count towards those 14 days. Yeah, remember, say your project is for 4 months, you do the project for 2 months and you go on a holiday for 4 days, say to Europe or anywhere, and you come back. So those 4 days cannot be deducted from these 14. Okay, so if you leave the UK, come back, your time away will not count. So don't worry about your trips and all during the job timing. So in my example, if you have a 6 months of job given and your cost given, you can enter and exit the UK as many number of times. It's a multiple entry, it wouldn't matter. But they will not affect your 14 days of grace which you have. So after 6 months, if your project ends, there is only a gap of 14 days between one project to another project. So you cannot be without a project, in other words, for more than 14 days. Yeah, this is very quite technical. When it's specific to your case, we can advise much better. You should ideally book a consultation if this is one of the concerns about your projects. We can advise more in detail once we have a specific details about your case. Money to support yourself. This is what we went into before: maintenance requirement or financial requirement. 1270, to have the money available at least for 28 days in a row. Day 28 must be within 31 days of the visa. So your statement should be dated within 31 days. Then it takes care of this, and make sure that that statement is at least for 28 days or more. You'll usually need to show proof of this when you apply, unless either you've been in the UK with a valid visa for at least 12 months. So there is an exemption. You don't need to show this money if you are applying the visa inside UK. Two conditions: and you have already had a valid visa, any visa for which was issued, the visa was valid for at least 12 months. That is important. With a valid visa for at least 12 months, your employer can cover the cost. Okay, so there are two exemptions here. One is, so three ways you can meet the maintenance requirement. Firstly, I will go into the exemptions. If you are already in the UK and you are switching into this category from inside UK from any other visa, let's say you are on a spouse visa or any other visa, then you are switching category, you want to go in this category, you can apply inside UK. That's number one. If your previous visa was for 12 months or more, for example, if you were on a spouse visa that is given for 30 months at least inside UK, so then you don't have to meet this financial requirement. You don't have to give your bank statements at all. Second exemption: if your employer on the certificate of sponsorship, they can certify maintenance. There is just a yes and no answer. Do you certify maintenance for the migrant? If they say yes to that answer, that's it. You don't have to give your statements. So there are two easy ways you can do it. If when we advise employers, we usually tell them to certify maintenance. They don't have to give you money or anything like that. They just have to confirm that in the first month. It's just a check mark, basically yes and no answer. Other than that, it doesn't affect. during the reason for the maintenance is in the first month of your visit, how will you take care of yourself, your living expenses. That's the main reason that 1270 amount has been arrived. Your partner and children will also need to prove they can support themselves. Okay, so that financial requirement calculation is over here. I think it is, I will give you a brief idea. Financial requirement 1270 for you, and then for dependents, I'll just check. So if your partner is also applying, then the amount is 285. So you need to add 1270 plus 285 and plus 315 if there is also one child applying, plus 315, 315 pounds. And for any further additional children, it's 200 per child. So if it's only main one person applying, 1270, if husband and wife or partners are applying, then 285, add 285 to this 285 pounds, one child 315 further, and any additional children from second onwards, second, third, fourth, 200 per child. So you have to add to this, and the rules, other rules remain the same. So that is the total amount. The amount will increase. Then if your employer can support you instead your certificate, yeah, they can confirm maintenance. That's what it says. Additional data. Okay, next, documents. When you apply, you need a cost reference, your valid passport, because that's what you will use to travel, or other documents. Those are exceptions. For those, definitely book a consultation, because you need to check if you don't have a passport, because how would you travel? That is the first question. Evidence, it may be a travel document or something, but it's very case specific. Evidence that you have enough personal savings, that's what we talked about. 1270 maintenance. Proof of your relationship, if your partner is applying, make sure you put, if you're married, put a marriage certificate. If you're unmarried partners, minimum last 2 years of cohabitation evidence. That's what you have to show. Children applying, birth certificate to show both the parents' names. Then applying. TB test, if you click here, it will go to the link. I'll just click here. Only these countries are required to give a TB test. Countries where you need, if you click on this, it will give you the list. Others don't need it. In the blank page, so that they can stick the visa vignette. You need a translation. Anything that is not in English, you need to get a translation of that. Documents. Okay, next, apply. This is the caseworker guidance. You can read it if you wish to. Apply from outside UK. You click on this and it goes to the form basically. Just try to open here. So you start answering this question. Where are you planning to live? Continue. Then it creates a form for you. You start answering those questions. If we are filing the application, we fill up the application for you. You don't need to worry. You just instruct us. Yeah. So proving your identity and supporting documents. Yeah, you'll have to give the fingerprints, as I said, the biometrics. Or if you're a European national, you can use the ID check app, and you don't have to go for the appointment. Without the appointment, you just do it through the app. You'll be told what you need to do when you apply. If you do not need an appointment, the center may need to keep your passport documents file. So if you are going for a fingerprint appointment, not applying through ID check app, then the visa application center may need to keep your passport. So during the processing of your application, the passport is kept. There may be keep your passport service, etc. You need to ask those visa application centers, or try to check on the website when you book the appointment. There will be an option, you can search for it, or we can confirm when we do any consultations with you. You may have to travel to get to your nearest visa application center. This could be, yeah, usually there are some countries you may have to travel, so that's what it's just saying. If you applied through a visa application center, yeah, there may be some priority options. Apply from inside. If you're applying inside the UK, as I said, you are switching category, you are changing employers on the same, you are on a creative, you're changing employer, etc. just bear with me, my throat. Apply from inside the UK. You click here. Same way, it creates a new application. Start. Yeah. So this is where is it gone? You can see apply now. Extend inside UK. You click on this. It will create a new application. Then where is it? Documents. Apply. So outside UK, apply here. Inside UK, you apply here. Next, your partner and children can apply to join. Yes, as I explained. They will also get the same expiry date of the visas as you get it. Dependent partner child is one. Husband, wife, civil partner. Child under 18 if they were born in the UK during your stay. Child over 18 if they were currently. So if you are already in the UK and your child is a dependent on your current visa, let's say you have another skilled worker visa and the child is dependent on you, then you would also be able to continue sponsoring them even if they are over 18 as of today. So if today you are doing this application, but on a previous application they were already under 18 and they were already dependents and they are living in the UK with you as dependents, then they can continue to be sponsored. You need to provide evidence of your relationship, exactly the same as I said. You must be able to prove that either you are in a civil partnership or marriage that's recognized in the UK. Yes. So I'm always asked this question: is my marriage certificate valid to be used for a UK visa? Anywhere in the world you have got married. You could have got married in the UK or anywhere in the world. If your marriage is legal in that country, so if it is legally recognized as a marriage in that country, then it is legal in the UK. If the marriage certificate is issued and it is not in English and it is outside UK being issued without not in English, get a translation of it. You can use any local translator and you have to submit the marriage certificate or civil partnership certificate and the translation along with it. You've been living together in relationship, so that is for partners. You've been living together in a relationship for at least 2 years. So if you're not married or not registered civil partners, then 2 years of living together evidence. If your child is over 16, so any children who are over 16, they must still be live with you unless they are in full-time education. Unless they are in full-time education at boarding school, college, university, not be married in a civil partnership or have any children. So if your child is over 16 or over, this is very important because sometimes children move out. That's the reason this provision is there. They should still be living with you unless they are gone to university and they obviously your house is the main house they come back to, but they may be only they are in full-time education at a boarding school, college or uni. Be not married, so the child should not be married or in a civil partnership or have any children. The child should not have any children. Be financially supported by you. You are still financially supporting them. If your child lives with you, you need to provide evidence. Just you have to show some evidence: bank statement, credit card bill, driving license, NHS, any proof to show they are living with you if they are over the age of 16. Money they need to support themselves. Your partner and children must have a certain amount of money available to them support themselves while they are in the UK. So that's the same I said for your partner, 285 additional on top of your 1270, 315 for first child, second and subsequent children, 200 per child. All the examples over here. You will usually need to show proof this will apply unless they have all been in the UK. Same rules apply if they are already in the UK with a valid visa for at least 12 months. They don't need to show maintenance. But if they're joining now, and then you will have to show maintenance. Your employer can cover, so the same way your employer can confirm maintenance, certify maintenance, or if you have a valid visa, they have held a valid visa for at least 12 months, then they will be exempt. So these two exceptions, then you don't have to show the bank statements for anyone. if your partner or child is applying at different time, they'll only need to prove that they have enough money to support themselves if they have been in the UK for less than a year. Yeah, so that's what they're saying. They have, if your partner or children are applying at a different time than you, so you already have a visa, now they're applying. They'll only need to prove they have enough money to support themselves if they have been in the UK for less than 1 year. Yeah. So if they are applying, so that's what implies they have to show only their side of funds, not yours. Okay, apply from outside UK. Your partner and children must be. So this is where they apply. You click on this and it will create the form. Yeah, you start answering these questions where you will be planning to live. Apply online as a partner, as a child. This one. Everyone has to complete separate forms. They'll also need your application reference or something, your UAN, unique application number, or GWF. Outside UK applications have a GWF, inside UK applications have a UAN. That is your main applicants. You'll have to put them on emails, letters. You'll see on the approval letters, emails, etc. Prove your identity as part of their application. Your partner children to prove the identity. Same thing for them also, fingerprints. If they can use the ID check app, exactly same process as yours, and they will be told what they need to do. Okay, same way, either appointment or ID check app, exactly same things as you, the main applicant. How long it takes, usually the same timings as yours, 3 weeks for them. There are some priority services, you'll see them on the third party provider's website, or when you submit you'll see the option of priority submission and you can pay those priority fees. It tells you the timings over there. Apply from inside the UK to extend. You can apply at the same time or any time before their current visa expires. This includes children who have turned 18. Your partner or children cannot apply to switch visa as a dependency. They are currently in the UK. So if they are on any of these, they cannot switch. They cannot go on to this visa as your family member. Visit visa, short-term student visa, parent of a child student, seasonal worker, domestic worker, immigration bail, etc. Permission outside the rules. Yeah. Application form will tell you if you can include the partner. If they're already in the UK, you have to fill these two forms. If they're outside UK, this is applying from inside the UK. Outside UK, you had these forms at the top. So extend, it will say extend, but even if they are applying for the first time, this is the one you have to use. Then they have to put your reference on there. Then fingerprints, ID check app, same thing. If they're applying, this rule applies for any UK visa. If they apply or you apply inside the UK, you cannot leave the UK till you get a decision on the application. You may try to submit by super priority, etc. if you have those options available, but yeah, you cannot travel till you get a decision on the application. Children born in the UK, your child must apply for a child. So if the child is born, then your child is inside the UK, you can apply for them. There's different forms for different situations. Outside UK applications, inside UK, children born in the UK. And you must apply if the child is born. Obviously, you will apply before 18. Yeah. What your partner or child can do and cannot. Your partner or child can work. They can also work, except these exceptions: sports person or coach, study, travel abroad, return to the UK. They can have trips outside the UK. There is no problem. They cannot apply for most benefits. No one gets public funds, you or your family. If the application is successful, they'll get a full list of what they can. On the approval letter, they will confirm that. Then extend your visa. You can apply. So as I said before, the maximum you can stay is 12 months on this visa, and there will be some further exceptions. Let's go down. You should apply for any extensions before your current leave expires. Important, very important, or you will become an overstayer. You must continue to meet the eligibility requirements. If you're changing sponsors, you can extend for whichever shortest. So 14 days. So that's what you're saying, 12 months plus 14 days maximum you can get a leave. If If you're staying with the same sponsor, you can extend your visa for whichever shortest 12 months, the time needed to extend your stay to the maximum of 24 months. So there can be a further extension of up to 12 months. That's what it says. So you can extend it up to. So you come for 1 year, then you extend it for 1 year, and then go on to the skilled worker visa, or you can go on to the skilled worker visa anytime. So 12 months it will be given. You can extend it further up to 12 months. That is total 24 months. And that's the end of it. Yeah, you will not be able to extend further. You'll need to have PRP, same fingerprints. That's a part of all visa applications. Apply to extend. Yeah, you can apply. Click, this is the button to create the application. You can, when you create the application, you can create the login, save it and return it back to there, and you can change any questions before you submit. So you don't have to worry. You can start the application, have some information, and save the application till whichever point you have reached, and then come back to it. The child will not automatically extend. Everyone has to file for extension. That's what it's saying. So, and biometric information, ID check app. 8 weeks inside the UK. That's the standard processing time. You may get a faster decision. You can click on this. It will usually take you to the priority service page, and yes, it would be available. Yeah, so 800 next working day decision, 500 5 working day decision. With the ID check app, you only have the 5 working day option. With the appointment, you have both the options. That's it. And working days are Monday to Friday. BRP comes in 10 working days. It usually comes earlier, but up to 10 working days it does come. If your application is complex, if you got such a letter, usually Home Office write to you saying there are complex matters and we'll need some more time. If you want to discuss those matters, if you have faced with such situation, or in advance if you have any matters, you can book a consultation with us. Links will be down below in the video. So it can be for anything. Documents need to be verified. You have to attend an interview. If you're called for an interview, definitely you should. You can seek our advice and we can advise on whatever questions you may be faced with because of your personal circumstances, if you have any criminal conviction, etc. Creative worker concession. So this is the concession where they talk about where you don't need a visa. You can enter the UK without applying for a visa in advance. So you don't have to apply, just come. You will need the cost reference number. That is very important. I'm sure you have a valid temporary certificate. So you have the reference number or the certificate printout. It's a digital one. You can print it out if your employer gives it to you. Are coming to work in the UK for 3 months or less. So your project is 3 months or less, 2 months, 1 month, up to a max of 3. You do not need a visa. So this is where the non-visa nationals I was referring to. Click here. It will just, I don't think you should be clicking here. It will just take you. Usually, search for the visa nationals list as I advised earlier in the video. If you haven't heard, you can just go back and I've explained it initially. You must still meet the temporary work, creative eligibility, everything that we have discussed. All the things have to be met. You'll not be able to extend your stay while you're in the switch. The problem with this one is if you come with a concession, you cannot extend your visa in the UK or change employers or do anything. Then you have to go outside, apply outside and come back in. That is the only challenge. But if you're just coming for one project or something, then yes, up to 3 months is the time. Just take the certificate, get your passport and you come to the UK. That should be sufficient. And you are a non-visa national, say I'm a US citizen, Australian, etc. You don't need a visa to come to the UK. You'll not be able to extend, switch, nothing. Your partner, children can, if they also, so they can also travel with you if they have similar passport of a non-visa national. Google for UKVI visa nationals and the list will come up of countries who need a visa. So you should not be on that list. When you arrive in the UK, you must see an immigration officer. So this is what you do. You cannot use the e-gates. You have to go to the officer, be in the queue. When you arrive, do not use the e-passport gates. Check your certificate sponsorship is valid. The officer will put the reference number on the system, see that it is valid, the certificate. Check that you have enough money to support. That is the same financial 1270, etc. that we talked about, maintenance. Or if you are maintenance certified on your course, and they will stamp your passport. You will not be allowed to work if you use an automatic. Yeah, so you cannot just touch the e-gates. You don't have a right you to work on the creative worker area. You have to go to the officer. So basically the officer is giving you a visa, in other words, rather than going to a appointment center and all. We'll see an immigration officer get a stamp. If you enter the UK from Ireland, if you're traveling to the UK from Ireland, creative concession, you must apply remote clearance. So this is the link. Yeah, you have to send your some proof of e-tickets, etc., and then they basically issue you a digitally. You don't have to go anywhere. Yeah, you can read about this over here. This is just a small exception. If you come from that border, at least 72 hours before you arrive in the UK. So in advance, you have to get the clearance before you travel. What you can and cannot do: you can study. This is for the main applicant. Work for your sponsor. Do a second job. Do a job on the shortage occupation list. Yes. Bring your partner, children, public funds, etc., etc. That's all. So everything I've covered here. If you need any advice on your specific case, if you have any questions, you want to instruct us, if you're an employer looking at this option, you want help with sponsor licensing or visas for your employees, you can contact us. Yeah, we provide all the services. If you are the applicant, we also provide services to applicants. Yes, we manage sponsor licenses for employees as well. So everything, you can just have a consultation or take a full service or checking service, anything. And all the links will be down below. If you do like this video and want us to do this walkthrough series of the gov.uk pages, uh, do write in the comments. Do give a thumbs up to this video. If you like this video, it will help us to know what type of videos people like, and we will try to increase more videos and that in that particular category. We have other series of quick Q&A, question and answers. We will be starting several different series as well. So do subscribe to our channel. Follow us on various social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, etc., etc. And yeah, if you do subscribe to our channel, this will help you or anyone else. YouTube throws these videos and others who are looking for any explanations on these. And yes, thank you very much for watching this video, and bye bye for now.